that he wrote for that day's newspaper, cutting home, pasting them in his books, his 9x12 3-ring binders, of which there's about 70 binders here. A man doing that, and a woman who couldn't believe that there wasn't any justice left in the United States, and stayed with it for 20 years looking for justice and never found it, and videotaped the record on public access. You couldn't do that in places in Russia, could you? Like Solzhenitsyn? He was in a place where if you talked to anybody, you were instantly clubbed to death. But a chat with Glendora came along, and when Cablevision took it off of the TV because they didn't like what Glendora was saying, and Glendora brought forth a law that no cable operator shall exercise editorial control over public access. It is a forum. If I go into your town and I speak in the park and stand on a soapbox, nobody can come along and say, you can't say that. Stop. We don't like it. You can't do that on public access. No public access operator, cable operator, or the state of New York, or the public access, or the Public Service Commission, or a privately run public access operation can say, you can't say that. Isn't that a wonderful thing? I'm so happy that you came to the museum with me, because I would like to see you keep a record of all the wonderful things you've done in your life, and keep it not in a shoebox, but these are sort of shoeboxes, they're for big feet. But if you would have a museum, and I also would like to have you write your autobiography. Again, audio taping it is better than writing it, and videotaping it is better than that. I'm so glad you came, because I'd like to urge you to do that, have a museum. Another question?
I like seeing you stand here with all the museum boxes.
It is sweet. And it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun to do it and do it right. To label the boxes, to have an index. Have I shown you the index, folks? And let me show you the index. Come over here. Look at this. I hope it doesn't fall on the floor. But look at this, see? This is this port or starboard? This is starboard. Starboard is on the right. And look what it says. Right up here. It says 20-5. No, 26-5. And then it tells you what's in it. Can you read it? I'll hold it steady, see if you can read it. And go right down the page. And that's column 1 that you're looking at on the starboard side. Now if you'll turn around, I'll walk you down to column 26. You turn it. Nothing like having a desk. Okay. You turn around this way. That's right. And keep walking down toward the bow. You're receding from the stern. Keep going. And now you come down to column 26. And that's the last column on the starboard side. In here are what I could retrieve of a physics professor named Dr. Beth. Dr. Eric Beth. The man was like Einstein. He could tell you exactly what Einstein was like just by looking at him. He was my friend in, he wasn't my physics professor, but I met him up there and he helped me with my homework at the State University of New York at Buffalo, SUNY. The man died at 93. He was a bachelor. He died all alone in his apartment. Nobody knew that he had passed on. And I kept going after the lawyers, so-called, and to try to get as many papers as I could. Well, I got a whole box you that's only 1/10 of what he wrote. He was a theoretical physicist.
What was his theories? What were his main theories?
Oh, they were, the main ones I think were about what happened in an atom when the electrons left it. Of course, that's what electronics is all about. And he would take the experimental physicist's results, and then he would try to find the electronic theory behind it. It would take quite a lot to get down to that box and show you, and so, a lot of it is written in German, because he was from Vienna, and he did very great work in the biggest universities in Europe.
Cool.
I would have to open the box and go through 26, 25, and 24. See how they stand up at attention? It's a lot of work to do that. Things get filed out of order, of course, because you have to have the heaviest boxes on the bottom. And what's in here? These are commercials for the Glendora Happy Book. And there's about 5 jokes in every 30-second commercial, which was a great accomplishment. And I don't know anybody else who did that. It was something to be done. It was something that God, I guess, wanted done.
Would you be able?
In his chair?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't like that chair, and he didn't like that chair. I bought that chair for him. I thought it'd be so nice. That one there. That chair I bought for him. I thought it would be so nice, and he was never comfortable in it. And this is the one where he stayed. This is the last smile of Franklin Buell. This Mustang belonged to Bruce Bergman. Bruce Bergman took Franklin for a ride. And Bruce brought Franklin that red cap. He was such a brave man, he could hardly move. And one day, Bruce Bergman and Franklin and I planned to take Franklin over to where the railroad line ends up above Dover Plains. And the railroad comes in from Manhattan, and in many places it's bucolic. It's a one-track railroad. And Franklin loved railroad trains as much as he loved Wheaties and baseball. And we were all set to do it. And Bruce took the day off, Friday off from work. He worked for the New York State Department of Transportation. And so we came to get Franklin, and he just, no, I can't go. It was pretty close to the end. And any other questions? What does the museum mean to me? How do we maintain it? Oh, you know what's going on now, folks? Andrew Lind drew up a diagram of how we could fill in the stern. Do you get the feeling of how big this museum is when you sit here and look down to the stern, the open door? This is big. It's 43 feet. Anyway, Andrew Lind drew up a plan, and somehow or other, the brothers-in-law, George Dixon and Walter Slater, they married sisters, they all of a sudden, sua sponte, began to work on it, the plan for it, and the next thing I know, without telling me, they bought this wood down here. You see this wood down here, folks? They bought all these 2x4s, And they went and bought a door. You see the beautiful steel door? And now when I come over to the museum, I don't have to lift that heavy rolling door. The great big heavy rolling door. I don't have to lift that anymore. I can now just walk up the stairs, and there's a door and a doorknob. Unlock the doorknob, open the door, and walk in. And Andrew Lynn is going to put up a railing. Isn't that great? And I want to thank that man from Lakeville, Connecticut, who built the cinder blocks. He just picked up scraps of cinder blocks that were outside and made me stairs. And they've lasted. That was on election day in 2000. It was in 2003. Franklin never was able to come and see it, the museum. And then he moved all of the boxes over from Lakeville. Bless that man.
And can you show me where the things go after Glendora goes to heaven? Where the desks and things go in the museum?
Yes! The desks, the two desks that you've seen so often in the Happy House that have the 22 recorders, DVD recorders, and VHS recorders, and the monitor, and the character generator, and then the other desk, which is a writing desk, and the desk beyond that, which is a laptop computer desk. This space right here that you see, right here, this space, you see it's empty, right? Okay. That space is empty because those 6 filing cabinets that look so much like this desk and these filing cabinets are going to be juxtaposed right along this empty space, which is preserved. And those would just come over intact from the Happy House with all of their contents. And then the upper pieces that have been on the boards, the desk board, will be positioned here, and it will be just like the Happy House. Everything in the Happy House is coming over here, intact, except maybe the kitchen dishes and the things in the bathroom. Is that what you meant?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Nope.
Sure? I think you're doing very well. Plaque to Franklin and Glendora, and it's a pretty good idea. Can you read it? What does it say? Can you read it for me?
Franklin and Glendora Buell, 2 of the angels in America. In recognition of your service to our country from your fellow seekers of justice.
Thank you.
97.
Thank you. Good taped. Conversations, federal court. Federal court hearings, 1981. Are you on column 13?
I don't have that paper anymore.
Okay.
I don't have 13.
Can you come over here and find it? Or
Mm-hmm.
did we leave it anywhere? We don't want to leave these here. Are we loaded up? Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of the Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your hearts and let us sing. Just be kind, stop the cruel. That's pretty. Are you ready?
Yep. And look at actually, we could look at the camera.
It is a pretty sky.
Mm-hmm. Just for about 30 seconds. Exactly like that. Same for about 20 seconds.
I love the museum. I love the museum.
It's great. Cut.
Now, we've got a project here someday.
Yeah.
This is awful. I've asked him about 6 times. Okay. That's not bad because a forklift could get all the rest of them. That's not bad. One forklift could get that.
this way for 15 seconds. Okay, now 15 more seconds.
Good weather. What I'm about to tell you is much better said by Carnicom, Clifford Carnicom, that's his name, and his site, of course, is carnicom.com. And he has noticed for the past 10 years that our atmosphere has changed, and it's been deliberately changed, and he is quite angry about it because it's been changed without our consent. The atmosphere belongs to everybody. But it is a global operation. And what goes on, if you will look up into the sky now, those are not man-made clouds. Those clouds are made by a deliberate expulsion from a jet airplane, and it is aerosol, and it contains poisons. But we don't know who's doing it, and it's very secretive, but we suspect it has something to do with the military. And what they will do is a cloud of gas will come from a jet. Now, it's not a contrail, it's a chemtrail. And it comes out like this wide from the jet, and then it spreads, and it spreads, and it spreads. And the jet circles around and puts another one over here, and it spreads, and it spreads, and it spreads. And comes around here and another one. By the time they're finished, they have completely taken away our blue sky. And it's this kind of a cloud. Look at these clouds if you would. And the whole sky will be those clouds. Now those are not God-made clouds. You can tell they're not God-made clouds. God doesn't make clouds like that. These are aerosol clouds. And Clifford Carnicom has discovered poisons in these clouds. Well, I like sun, don't you? And I miss it. And to go 9 or 10 days at a time, as we have many periods this year, without sun is not a good thing. So here is a blue sky preserver, I call it. And this bucket has in it, down here you see this bucket, it has in it some kinds of very expensive crystals and chemicals, and it makes some kind of an electromagnetic reaction that comes up through these copper pipes The reason it's apart now is because it rained one day when I wasn't here and he didn't have his cap on and he got water into him. He's not going to function if he has water in him. So these, I'll put one on for you, I think. This will disperse these clouds, and I will get a blue hole. Here the whole thing is black and cloudy and poisonous, but this will punch a blue hole into it, and I have a blue sky, and it keeps working and working, and I get a big blue hole.
Did you invent this?
Oh no. We paid $500, $450 for it. We ordered it. We found it on the internet, and so we looked into it, and we chipped in, 3 of us, and bought this. And it's 2 years ago, and it works. It gives me a blue sky. And the reason, as I say, I have it apart is that water got into it, came through the pipes in the rain down here, and got into it. Of course, it's not going to work if it has water in it. What is going on? We don't know. We think it's military. It's global. It's global. I've watched it in cities all over the United States. Even in the state of Maine, I've seen it. But if you, let's hypothesize that what is coming out of these jets on purpose is a metal named barium. And barium, which is poisonous, by the way, the electrons will escape from the nucleus, and that sets up what? An electric current. So for some reason they want an electric current. It has something to do with war.
So there'll actually be a blue hole?
Right up there, yeah, just such as you see today. Actually, the hole, it'll start, and it works, and it works, and the hole gets bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Now, all of these clouds, today I didn't see any jets doing it, but 2 days ago I saw jets doing it, and they were making a cross in the sky. I have seen them at dusk play tic-tac-toe. They put so many streaks in the sky. Some days they succeed very well, some days they fail. Now I'll tell you where it comes from. It blows in from the northwest over here to the southeast. It blows right across. Sorry, that's the copper pipes I just knocked over. I think we have corn growing here. Doesn't that look like corn to you?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that look like a corn plant to you? Over here and here? I must have thrown out in the compost some corn. And speaking of corn, I think our corn on the cob is ready to eat. Well, would you go on carnicom.com and also bariumblue.com.
Okay.
And you will hear that horrible story. But it's not good. And Clifford has put up a big fight. It's not his field at all. But Clifford Carnicom has put up a big fight. And he's outraged that our atmosphere, our Earth, is being changed without our consent. Amen.